And here we are today, and we're going to make this UFO spaceship type thing out of recycled items, which I have just lying around the house here. So whatever you have lying around the house at your end, you can also use to make your own UFO spaceship type thing. So as you can see there, we've got two semicircle half things, and they're both like trifle trays that you get from the supermarket with trifle or whatever inside. I can't remember exactly what was inside those pots, but they're slightly different. One's got quite a nice little pattern on it, like sort of triangle shapes, which will come in useful for when we get around to painting. Also found some old cooker knobs, deodorant bottle, and some coffee tops and other tops which I don't know where they came from. So we're going to use, I'm using Gorilla Glue there, and I've glued the two halves together on those trifle parts, and now we're just gluing the cooker knob thingies together, and we're going to apply that to the spaceship also, as you can see there. So kind of make it up as I go along on this particular project. We've done there's another spacecraft video on the channel using recycled items, but more of like a rocket shape. So this particular model here is going to be used as a UFO prop in a video for the Moonrunner music channel at some point. So when that's done, I'll stick the link in the description below. So there, as you can see, we've glued in a cooker knob onto our orb shape made up with the two pieces at the beginning, the trifle halves, bowls if you like. And now we've got another knob, and we're going to stick that on the bottom, and that's going to kind of act as our thruster. So that's like glued in the other way around to give us like a thruster shape. Did I say I was using Gorilla Glue? Yeah, I'm using Gorilla Glue, which is kind of like a super glue. So we're using that to glue all our components together. I've kind of loosely based this spaceship around the ET spaceship. So those of you that have watched ET, you'll be familiar with the ET spaceship. So I kind of wanted something that looked a little bit like a friendly-ish UFO, because in this music video there's going to be kind of a Close Encounters influence in the video. And now we've got a top of a deodorant, a roll-on deodorant there, which I kind of thought looked as like a sort of communication point on the top of the spaceship. But also at the beginning of the video there's some superimposed lights, so I thought that could like act nicely as a light. And at the beginning of the video show that little snippet, little movie where I superimposed lights onto the spacecraft to make it look like it's lighting up. I did that in Photoshop, and obviously used the video editor to create the sort of animation effects. But if anybody's interested, perhaps we make a spaceship later on where we actually employ real LED lights into the spacecraft or whatever model prop we will build. So if anybody's interested, leave a comment in the description below. So sometimes these videos don't really generate that much interest on the channel, but I quite like doing it, and this is a prop for a video anyway, so just as well film it as we go along. So as you can see there, what I've been wittering on, I nearly dropped the model there, I was glued in some lids on the base there, so they could kind of emulate maybe the door into the a door into the actual UFO, and other things, batteries or something or whatever is attached to a UFO. So now we're going to prime the UFO ready for the paint job, which will be in the next part of this video. So we're just going to prime. There, I dropped it again. Oh dear. So just going to prime the UFO and let that dry for the night, and then we can get on and paint our paint effects onto our spaceship UFO prop. So there we are, that's it for this video, and we'll see you in the next video for the paint job. So here we are on part 2 of making our UFO prop model, and we've already primed the model and of course built it. So this is part 2, and this is the final part in this little mini series. So starting off here with putting a base coat of cast iron metallic paint. So we're using that as our base coat, and I let that dry overnight, so we've got a good nice solid finish ready to dry brush and put washes over the top, all that sort of thing. So I did actually put a couple of coats of the cast iron paint onto the object, and so once we've got our base coat down and it's nicely set, we can start applying other colours and layers. So I did actually start off, after we put the base coat down, put in a wash of a kind of rusty mixture of brown mixed with black, just a hint of black, just to kind of give us a rusty coloured look. So you'll see that coming up shortly. And then after we put the wash down, we dry brush some silver metallic paint over the top. Actually, I've just missed a stage. We start, after this cast iron paint is set, we put some silver paint onto the surface, but we dry brush this onto the surface, and we put a solid coat on the top of the UFO spaceship thing. So I wanted that one solid colour, and then we dry brushed over the textures of the main body of the spacecraft UFO prop. So sorry about that, missed a stage. My brain must be in space somewhere. Ha ha. So yeah, most of us are familiar with the dry brushing technique. If you're not, just check out some other videos on the channel. And there is a dry brush video on the channel, I think, anyway, but that might need updating, so I might put another video up on dry brushing shortly. So we got a cloth there, just wipe the excess paint out of the brush, and then just dry brush the paint onto the object where we want the dry brushing to take place. So it gives you a kind of worn looking effect. I think I might have said in the last video, I sort of based this, or loosely based this UFO shape on the ET spaceship, so it's kind of sort of half comical, if you like, and half serious. Is that the right word? I don't know. So just touching up some silver there, and once that's gone off, and I think I let that dry for the night also, or I might have just ran a hairdryer over it, we can start applying our wash. And like I say, that was a mixture of brown, mainly brown, mixed with a hint of black, just to darken it up a little bit. So as you can see there, just using a small brush to put some silver in places, like on the extremities of the spaceship. So looking good so far. So you might have seen the video clip, or you probably have, or you will have done if you've watched this video. So this is going to be used in a music video at some point on the other channel, Moonrunner Music. So if you're interested in music, have a gander over at Moonrunner Music. I seem to be farting around a lot on this silver paintwork. So there, that's where we're at, and now we're ready for the wash. So you can see I've got a reference photo in the background there of the ET spaceship, along with other things. There's a little drawing there of a hand, which I'm not sure if I put on the channel or not. I don't think I did. And a concrete cast of a skull with a snake coming out of its eye. So anyway, back to the video, and now we're on to the wash, which I've kept on about, the brown wash mixed with a little bit of black. Brown mixed with a little bit of black. So we water down the acrylic paint to give us a nice fluid wash, if you like, and then we use a damp cloth to wipe away the excess, so it kind of gives you that worn look over the spacecraft UFO. And there's other videos on the channel, again, like the dry brushing, which goes into more detail about washes, putting your wash on and wiping away the excess paint to reveal the paint underneath. So it's all up to your preference on how you want your items to look when you use washes and dry brushing techniques. So I've got the damp cloth. I think I just put one layer of wash over the whole UFO object. And then once you've got that wash in place, I just touched up with a bit of silver. In certain places, just to create some more highlight and depth to the overall look of the spacecraft. But before we get to that stage, just let that wash dry. So that's where we're at this stage, which I think looks quite groovy, with a kind of worn look. And now just final touches. So dry brushing with a big brush, big paintbrush again. Just an ordinary household wall brush. And little touches with a small paintbrush. Small painter's paintbrush. Art brush, if you like. So all made from recycled items, of course, this UFO. And looking forward to putting it into action to make the music video. Once the music video's done, I'll put the link in the description below if anybody's interested in watching it. So of course this is a prop, and it would be nice to make something like this with LED lights in the ship, but for the special effects for this ship, we'll be using Adobe Photoshop to put layers over the top, lights and things like that, so it'll all be done via the computer, Adobe Photoshop and a video editor. So there we are, job done. So if anybody's interested in an LED version of this, if there's enough people that are interested, then we'll make something similar and install some LEDs also. So there we are, that's where we're at, and ready to make the video using the UFO prop. So anyway, thanks for watching, see you soon, and over and out for now.